Hello everyone, what's up? I'm starting this video with tears in my eyes because I was like just going through, I had uploaded a short to my One Piece channel and then I was like watching some of the other shorts that I'd uploaded, and like a lot of the shorts that I upload are like moments that got me really emotional, and rewatching those moments got me emotional again. So I'm starting this video from a place of emotion. I haven't even written down the title of or the episode numbers that we're on. We are on in Apothecary Diaries. That's what we're watching today. We're watching season 2, episodes 7 and 8. So last video we had the Shinan Liua stuff, I believe, which was a very entertaining episode. Very dark, you know. It was an extremely dark part of the show, but like this show is very good at touching on those dark themes, and I really enjoyed what we saw last time. It was some great episodes, so I can't wait to watch more. I'm just gonna jump right into it. I'm not gonna waste too much time at the start, so make sure to support the video if you can. If you like my Apothecary Diary reactions, please support it. Like the videos, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to support me more and get bonus content, you can get next week's episodes of Apothecary Diaries on my Patreon account right now in the description below. It's also the full-length version, so you sync it up with your own footage, but you can watch the whole episodes with me. And in my opinion, it's the best way to do it, because then you don't have to worry about your favorite moments getting edited out or like losing the pacing of the episode. So yeah, just go check that out if you want. Otherwise, just stay here, support this video, because that helps me out as well. But yeah, let's jump into this. Apothecary Diaries season 2, episode 7. Young Jinchi? Oh my god.
Why did my mother have that look on her face?
You should be in your room.
This is creepy.
The old woman. Who were they?
I don't know. The hell is that? Is Maomao gonna solve problems of Jinchi's childhood? Like piece together what had happened then?
I wouldn't truly know until much later. He was my father, and she, my grandmother. The man I had believed was my father was in truth my brother.
Oh my god. So confusing.
One day the daughter of a distant land would arrive. Her womb quickened with a heaven-sent child.
Oh.
That child would go on to become
Secretly
the first
watching
emperor of Lee,
the class.
a woman who sees through the darkest of nights and whose origins are tied to
Isn't
a
this
mythical
penmanship
land of
class?
sorcerers, would in her turn become the Mother Royal.
Hello? Having fun?
Master Jinchi, don't let them see your face.
Oh, right.
But the appearance of this violet-haired creature would quickly spell an end to that. If Master Jinchi's initiative is fruitful, and more of the serving girls become literate, things at the rear palace should begin to change. Xiaolan's exhibited progress.
Look bored.
Already, she's able to read stories on her own.
That's good.
Master, we should get a move on.
But it looks like they're learning about history, which is not what they came there for.
A bit more.
If you notice anything awry, let me know.
I understand. Xiaolan.
Hey! Maomao, I didn't see you there!
So cute.
So, what'd you...
But I've still got a few questions for the teacher. You should come with me.
She's such a good student. I'm
The
so
teacher
proud of
often
her.
spends his-
An old shrine?
Hello? Are you in there? Teacher?
I'm here. Oh, it looks like you brought a friend.
He
with
probably
you
looked
today.
30 when he started teaching this class. Xiaolan's questions have aged him.
And when the Mother Royal ushered in the new order, she did not denounce the previous religion.
Is that the
That's
mother
kinda
of the
cool.
first emperor?
It is then written that the son successfully forged his way through and emerged an emperor. The reason the capital was moved here is precisely because of that shrine.
Wow!
Alas, for a decade,
Long.
the previous emperor's brothers all sadly succumbed to illness.
Oh.
A terrible epidemic had swept the nation.
That's awful.
Meaning there was no need of a selection ritual to determine the rightful heir.
Curious about the shrine, much like you.
Was his name
Really?
Norman?
Yeah.
You know of the
That's my question.
Oops, that slipped. He adopted me after he took up as an apothecary
He's my
in the
dad.
Pleasure District.
daughter, eh? That explains it.
Look! Writing!
I'm so proud of Xiaolan. It's
I
so
detect
great.
no poison. If you would, please excuse me.
Apothecary, wait.
Oh.
There's somewhere I must go, and I will need you at hand.
Oh, really?
Where, sire?
Away to the Shrine of Choosing.
Shrine of Choosing. Okay.
It's that shrine I saw today. Isn't that
That's the old
the teacher
man.
from the school?
Yeah.
Pretty bold, old man, speaking to the Emperor like that.
Who will accompany you?
The apothecary.
I'll take these
Oh,
two.
and Jinchi. Okay.
Sire, are you certain women are allowed to go in there?
This way.
Right then, onwards.
Okay.
A choice of 3 doors.
Whoa. What is
What's
this?
The colors are blue, red, and green.
Okay, then don't pass through the red door.
decisions be-
Let's go with the blue. Last I attempted this, I opted for green.
Or maybe open the
remember
red,
it well.
but don't go
Then
through
let us
it.
proceed.
Point taken.
3 doors yet again.
Hmm.
Green. Do not enter the brown door.
Okay.
Curious.
This is
Is
weird.
this how it goes?
What if you do enter those doors? Because they're counting them out
Climbing
early.
up and down. Was my participation really even necessary? I hope this comes to an end
No,
soon.
because you're taking in information and you're going to solve the whole fucking thing.
Behind us, a separate set of doors empties out into this room too. That must mean some other path converges here. Child of royalty, yet no child of the Mother Royal?
Huh?
No idea what that means, but it smacks of rejection.
What insight could there be left in such a place?
It sounds
don't
like he's
know.
been taking care of us. He must have willingly paid the steep price of castration to remain here.
Ah, well, what's he going to be
The
doing
exit
with it
is right this
anyway?
way.
At your older age, probably much less
The
need for
Emperor,
it.
the number of rooms, the color of the door.
Do you just have
The
to
woman, I'm
disobey
sure, would have
every
figured it out if he had
sign?
been here.
You're saying that my father could have solved it?
Well, I can't say.
That's a
for
challenge.
That said, being told that I can't do it is a bit annoying. Could that somehow be related?
She's going to solve it. Piece it all together.
No child of the Mother Royal, it read. Any thoughts on what that could mean?
Wait a second.
Oh,
In the yet our succession system is one of paternal inheritance.
okay.
So, to ensure preservation of the Mother Royal's bloodline,
Born of the same mother, no. But all of the mothers of the princes, they were each sisters.
interesting. Were any of them known to be afflicted with poor eyesight?
My predecessor, however, did not.
I knew it.
Okay,
Can
what?
we go back inside?
Oh my god.
Up the shrine.
No concern for the permissibility of your presence now, eh?
You had poor
Though I
eyesight, so you can't
sanctioned
read
your
the
entry into
signs?
The shrine once, twice would be most improper.
I don't
After
know.
all, one stands on the selection of doors. Are you a concubine or a princess?
I see. I could take her as a concubine.
Oh my god.
Provided I could convince Lakan to give his blessing.
Oh my god.
That's a good point. Well then, perhaps you should take her.
Oh.
Would that satisfy tradition?
Indeed, Majesty.
Okay.
Let's go.
He is awfully playful tonight.
Yeah, this is the most we've seen of the Emperor, I feel like.
First up, instructions. Do not pass through the red door.
Which would
So,
you choose?
pass through the red door.
The blue.
Okay.
For now, at least.
I need a...
Next set
Oh
of
my
doors is
God.
green.
A different decision from the one I made last time through.
Yeah, okay.
I couldn't. The secret must lie in the color of the doors.
Maybe they're colorblind?
10th room.
And so
choice
some of them,
doors,
if it says don't
white,
pass through the
purple,
brown one,
and
two of
again
them look
green.
brown?
So then what?
We take the green door.
Okay.
Why green? Is that?
Ooh.
Historically, he who overcame the test of the Mother Royal earned the right to become emperor.
Wow.
Emerging through this door, he would stand here and make his first
Well,
proclamation.
Maomao's Emperor now.
If the tradition would have them return to this shrine in the company of a concubine.
My guess is
guide them through the
colorblindness.
twisting labyrinth
But let's
of death,
see.
It would appear that our magnanimous conductor is a girl of far humbler origins.
Yeah, because you provoked me into doing it, rude old man.
How does one determine which of the doors to take?
Oh, that.
How about you ask
Perhaps your
her?
guide would be kind enough to
Yeah.
share the answer with us.
Trial 2?
You heard the man.
Yeah. Emperor's telling you to do it.
That those of the Mother Royal's blood cannot tell colors apart.
Aha!
Can't tell colors apart?
Please, elaborate.
It is
First of all,
colorblindness.
I will choice of blue or green is negligible. Both are right.
Okay.
But a child, the reason, they would be unable to differentiate between red
Yeah,
and green,
yeah.
giving them only one new option.
The woman, I'm sure, would have figured it out.
Since my father studied abroad in the West, he would have known of this trait.
So that was kind of a hint.
That's why the old man was so sure. If brown and green look the same to someone, then what else could they go with but light blue?
Wow.
As for the last door, as it was explained to me by my adopted father, people simply adapt to it. Given that many go through their whole lives without betraying that they have it.
Yeah.
Also, I'm sure there are those who have made it through on nothing but pure luck, too.
Yeah.
However, the probability of reaching the final room that way is quite low.
But according to the written legend, the Mother Royal never took a husband.
She did, but they chose to obfuscate the truth.
Damn, man.
After all, it's not uncommon for a ruler to take a wife from another land to re-diversify the bloodline.
It's funny Maomao
Even
explaining
if
this to
Mother
the
Royal is
Emperor. I
progenitor.
like it.
But how might one ensure that the lineage of the Mother Royal was preserved? That's where the Shrine of Choosing comes into play. And that's why they allowed concubines to accompany the would-be emperor
Okay.
and cement the Mother Royal as the founding figure. For when all the first-hand accounts have long faded,
This is a really cool
the myth
concept.
becomes truth, a quiet conquest. Of course, I could never say such a thing out loud.
If that's the
Even in unbroken lines, traits like this don't always pass on from parent to
Yeah.
child. Besides, it's likely why they fell ill.
Would have the capacity for such big revelations.
Little girl.
She hates
Said
this
that
man.
The reason the Mother Royal ruled over. Want to consider diluting it with this one here.
Just what is this old bag of bones proposing?
an inch die than risk incurring the wrath of Lakan.
Yeah.
Besides, she needed another
True.
15 centimeters in the chest at minimum.
Oh my god.
Whatever.
But he did.
On that
It
note,
has been
please
said he
take
likes
care.
voluptuous
There are many who do
women.
not.
Yeah, what does it matter? Some things aren't meant to be known.
You'll find out
That's just how it
eventually.
goes.
I'm surprised you haven't pieced it together yet. Not that I think you've gotten enough clues, but you just figure so much shit out. Alright, that was a good episode. I really enjoyed that. Full disclosure, I just had to take a break to go to the bathroom and stuff and do some other stuff for a second. So I watched the episode, I don't know, like 20 minutes ago. But yeah, that was a great episode. I really enjoyed it. I love the solution to the episode again. I mean, Apothecary Diaries does such a great job at like setting up this mystery and having like a conclusion that really just makes sense. And I love that you can figure it all out as it goes along. Like as the series goes on, like I'm picking up on kind of where they're going with it more and more, which I think is not because they're getting more predictable, but because I'm sort of like settling into the way that this series sets up their clues. And I think there's some like really cool logical puzzle solutions in this series. So like simple stuff like, you know, she asked about, oh, did they have bad eyesight? Then you start to go like, bad eyesight, why would that help? And my first thought, which I was wrong about, is like, oh, maybe they can't read the signs properly. But then like if you can't read the sign, why would you happen to always go through the you know, that door, right? If you were like, well, what does that sign say? I don't know. Okay, I'm going through the red door, and you do that for all of the doors. You always just happen to go through the one that it says not to go to. So that didn't really make sense. But then as it went through, I started to go like, hang on, maybe the bad eyesight isn't like, oh, I can't see very well, but rather I see it differently than other people do, and not being able to differentiate colors is a great solution to that. You design the doors in such a way that it's like, hey, don't go through the red door. And it's like, well, I don't know which one's red, but these two both look similar to me, so I'm assuming they're both red, which means I go through this one. You know, so you have to actually kind of be bad at following the clues because of your bad eyesight to be able to go through the correct one. So it makes colorblindness kind of a superpower because you're seeing the solution more than other people are. It's like when people play multiplayer games on like shit computers and they have like low graphics, and so sometimes, you know, there'll be a big bush, and then if you're on low graphics, like you have to like turn down your graphics so that your computer can run it, and then the bush isn't as big and thick and stuff. It's just like some branches or whatever, and you can see through the bush. So you can, if someone's hiding behind the bush or whatever, you can just see them. But if you're playing on a higher end PC and you can see everything, like the bush looks way more detailed, it's covering up the person's player model more, and you have a disadvantage. So it's very much like that, where it's like, this is normally a disadvantage in your life, but in this instance, it actually turns out it's an advantage. So so I really liked that solution. I really enjoyed seeing the Emperor you know, respecting Maomao's opinion and listening to her, and like the Emperor has never seemed like a terrible guy. He's always seemed, you know, surprisingly reasonable. I thought when we started the series, I thought he was going to be like a terrifying figure, but he's just like a dude, you know. And yeah, it's nice to see him. He invites Maomao, gets Maomao to figure it out, and seems like impressed with her and stuff. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. And I just love Xiaolan as well, and how dedicated she is to learning right now, and how excited she is that she's like getting all of this. It's so nice. Like, for a character that I just adored in the first season and really wanted to see more of, you could not have given me a better Xiaolan like representation in this season than to have her like learning to read in this season and being so proud that she can write her name and write other stuff on paper and then showing it to Maomao. It's adorable. It's so cute. So I love Xiaolan. I love Xiaolan and Maomao's friendship, and it's just the best. And I love the voice actor that's doing Xiaolan as well. Like, her voice is just so cute to me. So yeah, very nice. Let's move on to the next episode. This is episode 8 of season 2 of Apothecary Diaries. Here we go. Oh, this music. Jesus. The Empress Dowager.
Starting today, this will be your room.
But this is the storage shed.
Huh?
Do you mean it? I can really stay in here?
Oh, she's excited about it.
Think on your crime. Your room! You're going to end up in the storage shed!
That sounds preferable. And I wouldn't have to be quiet at night.
Are you crazy?
Makes sense.
We should hurry up and get back.
Let's get me punished.
Go and ask Lady Hongyang.
But where will you sleep?
Yeah, she doesn't care. She'll find a way. She'll curl up.
What is all this?
No.
You have no idea what this means. I'll hang my herbs over here. Automatically assume it was me? For your information, she's the one that went to Lady Hongyang.
Yeah.
Just do us one favor and promise. Enough with collecting icky bugs, alright?
She can't do that.
What bugs? I was busy gathering lizard tails that day, not insects.
Oh, yeah.
I stopped on account of your fainting episode.
It was,
That's not you? Because there's a rumor going around of a strange...
Yeah, no, there's, what's her name is getting
That
bugs.
doesn't sound anything less. But what sort of maniac laughs while...
Yep, she's sweet. That's right.
I have to clear my name.
you can't be blamed for all the weird girl things that's happening.
That's right.
There are some other
Have
weird
you seen
girls.
Shipley?
I might have seen her. Yeah? Come on, tell me! This is important!
Xiaolan has all the connections.
They're probably cautious because I directly serve a concubine.
Yes.
Now that I think about
You've
it,
been with that emperor
Xiaolan
recently
is
as
the
well.
exception and doesn't... What can I bribe them with?
Lizard's tail.
This ought to work. On the information I receive, I could give you this.
Ooh.
You're still bleeding.
Damn. Jinchi's special. Yeah.
And they said she's usually out in the thicket on the north side, but I think this was...
I feel like you could have used that
last time too.
That
Is this
handkerchief
a
for
good spot?
more useful stuff than just this information. You might have wasted a valuable piece there.
Not to use for the powder and makeup. For making an abortion drug. It's not as if Lady Gyokyo is the only one who's receiving the Emperor's love. There's a good chance Lady Lihua is pregnant as well.
Yep.
Someone taught her how to make the poison. And that someone is probably still here, in the rear palace.
Yep. I like that they keep reminding us of the overarching mystery going on.
This is me for? How rude.
Mama, you're kind of like that. Just not with bugs, but you're like that. Oh, did you just crush it in her hair?
Sweet. I'm gonna need my head back. Looks like you had a successful hunt.
Yes.
The girl really loves bugs.
She does. It's her only flaw.
Since you asked, this insect is actually native to
Since-
an island nation that
since
eats
you
it
asked.
by rubbing their wings to get moths from the other night. I know, they look a lot like cockroaches, but they're a different species entirely, so there's nothing to worry about. And
Stop rubbing the cage against me. Wow, look
if
at
I'm
that.
not mistaken, that's the Empress Dowager.
The
I saw her
umbrella.
at the garden party. Hard to believe she's the Emperor's mother.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's kind of a reflex with me.
maybe, well, it was founded by the Empress Dowager.
Oh,
I didn't realize that.
interesting.
Of course, despite that, her involvement was kept under wraps.
How do you know about it?
You don't.
Also, I heard she was instrumental in outlawing slavery. And
Oh,
banning the practice of making eunuchs, too.
oh, awesome.
Slavery is good from a humanitarian perspective.
But bad for money.
But from the outside, this could be viewed as a form of servitude.
Yeah, I'm. It's not
When the
like
banns were
slavery is
announced,
completely
the old lady
abolished.
said she felt a chill run
Just
down her
probably
spine.
loosened a lot.
Well, on the face of it, everyone knows it's still alive and well under different names.
Yeah.
By this point, I would suspect I was being bullied, only...
Wipe those floors. Yes! Sweep harder!
The other
Everyone.
ladies in waiting are getting the same
Yeah.
treatment.
Be extra. Don't leave a speck of dust behind.
What's going on? Who's coming to visit?
Probably the Empress Dowager, based on how this episode's been set up.
Well, it was the Empress Dowager!
Yep.
So the Empress Dowager knows that Lady Gyokyo is pregnant.
Hmm.
I guess she must be trustworthy.
I mean, she seems like a nice lady.
You're the lady in waiting whose employment was arranged by Jinshi.
Yep.
Yes.
You've
that
probably
is
heard a
correct.
lot about me.
How does she know?
I heard about you from Suiren. She told me a girl worth...
Hopefully you wouldn't mind if we excuse ourselves.
Yeah.
No.
How about you talk to Maomao for a while? Oh, this
A
is awkward.
perceptive woman. She'll go far.
I like that.
Sit.
Recognizing
Please make yourself
Gyokyo,
more
reading the room well.
Yes.
You have a talent for going around and solving problems.
Mm-hmm. The local detective.
Hopefully I didn't word that too bluntly.
It was a bit blunt, but
But I don't have a wild imagination, nor the knowledge my dad has.
she keeps comparing herself
That's
to her
why I
dad.
insist on letting her know beforehand.
I have my own request.
Okay.
One that requires your insight.
Okay.
I wish to know whether I put a curse on the late emperor.
Whoa.
But the most widely used word would probably be pedophile.
Oh my god, but yeah.
Taking a young wife for political reasons or collateral on a loan is
Wow.
not unheard of, despite being surrounded by women of a more appropriate age.
Yeah, that's why Li
The
Shu's still
Empress
around,
Dowager
right?
has a scar on her stomach. Ultimately became the eunuch despite his service. Was Luoman, my
Yep.
adopted father. And the Empress Dowager later gave birth to a second son, the Imperial brother.
Uh-huh,
If I
which
remember correctly,
is
he's 1
Jinshi,
year older
right?
than me. What am I trying to do? Get beheaded? 4 high-ranking concubines to be your guests at an elaborate tea party.
Cool.
Lady Gyokyo is often drowsy, a symptom of early pregnancy.
Hmm.
My guess is Lady Lihua would avoid asking any questions that could backfire
Yeah,
on
exactly. You
herself.
know, she doesn't want to draw attention to the idea
Also,
of pregnancy.
She's a very proud woman, since her bloodline is more noble.
Hmm.
If her ladies-in-waiting urged her, Lady Li Shu might say something.
Yeah, and her ladies in
but I
waiting
doubt that
might
head lady-in-waiting / former taster
would let
step
it
out of
happen.
line.
Mm.
That leaves concubine Lolan as a possibility.
And she's a wild card.
There are no rumors following her around, aside from the ones about her fashion choices.
Interesting. I like this breakdown.
Moment, please.
Right.
I love how much we've learned about all of them throughout the series, and that
How can I
I have a
help?
good picture of
Your
what they're like.
service won't be required at the event.
What?
You understand?
There won't be anyone testing for poisons at the Empress Dowager's party.
Uh-oh.
It demonstrates our complete trust in her.
I mean, that's great, but
However, you still
Uh-oh.
have a role. Don't tell me someone else has come to you with their problems.
yes.
I know you can't tell me. However,
Oh god.
I would advise you not to do or say anything that would betray Lady Gyokyo.
She's getting so much more strict lately,
The
I feel
last
like.
thing I want.
I too would like us to maintain a good relationship.
Okay, we'll stop
Yeah.
yelling at me.
Nobody is here. but the place is still kept in immaculate condition.
We have more to see.
The music in that scene is cool. This show has consistently really good music. I don't mention it enough, but
He had reached an age where his death could be described as natural.
yeah,
Then
okay,
why is the
quite
Empress
old.
Dowager so convinced she cursed him?
As
I am the one who did it. I
Huh.
wished he would go away. I wished for it almost every night.
Still, I mean,
First off, is
Doesn't
there
mean
anything
it's a
else to
curse.
suggest that is what caused his death?
took a look at the body before burying it, and were shocked by what they found.
what?
When they removed the lid, the body was almost exactly the same as when he had passed away.
It hadn't decomposed at all.
Are you suggesting that decomposition never took place?
None.
That was enough to convince her that the curse was real.
Yes.
Interesting.
Now I understand.
Because it was like a
This place is
supernatural
cold even in
occurrence.
summer.
His building will be torn down. We would like you to investigate before that happens.
There
I will do
must
my
be
But first,
something about the situation
need
that
to make one
made it so the
request
body
of you.
couldn't decompose. Wow, that's the episode? Whoa, that flew by. I feel like it's redundant to say, but great episode. Like, really cool. Well, I mean, there was a few things in this episode that were crazy. I think, like, the thing that kind of surprised me the most is, like, there was that scene where Maomao was describing the previous emperor, right? And wow, I clicked right on the thing. I just like clicked in the middle of the episode and found the scene. This scene, I haven't heard a single good thing about the emperor, right? Just that he was a fool, a puppet of the empress, but the most widely used word would probably be, pedophile. I was shocked by this because throughout the series, I'm not shocked by the fact that that's the case with the character. I'm shocked at the bluntness of that monologue because throughout this series, the series has gone to imply that time and time again. Like, they've been basically saying it over and over again, but just never using that terminology. And I thought, you know, it's a really, really dark topic. So I think the implications, you know, they're like, look, this is something we're never going to actually talk about fully, but we're going to imply it so that it's like a backdrop for the story, right? But now the show's actually just straight up stated it, which is like really kind of shocking to hear, I feel like, especially in anime and in this sort of stuff. Like, I feel like a lot of media kind of goes out of its way to avoid actually saying that, you know. I mean, there's a Black Mirror episode about that, right? And in the Black Mirror episode, I don't think they even say the word, you know. I'm hesitant to say it just because of, like, YouTube monetization stuff. I mean, I don't tend to run into too many issues there, but I think there are certain hot button things that you try to avoid talking about a lot. I'll talk about them, but I'll still try to keep the language somewhat vague, because just in case. But I was just like really shocked that it was like fully stated in this episode. But it's also what I love about this series. I mean, they go into these dark, deep themes, and like there's this character with an incredibly you know, like horrifying reputation, and they just talk about it in the episode, and the way they present it in that in the episode is really interesting to see, like, how does the entire palace or whatever respond to that being the previous emperor, you know, like how and so, like, the fact that people have said, like, the current emperor sort of is very insistent on like, oh, he likes women with big boobs and stuff, is like, I think they've said in the series before, theoretically it's an overcompensation to make up for the previous emperor. Like he so doesn't want to be associated with that side of things, that he's like mentally sort of gone in the complete opposite direction, you know. Like I want the women to be as mature as like their bodies to seem as mature as possible, essentially. And I think it's really interesting seeing the way that, you know, the way that people have responded to that, and the and like that we're currently under a leader who's the one after that horrible person, you know. So we're seeing like, it's not like we knew that emperor in this story at all. We're seeing the aftermath of it. But yeah, I just think that was a really interesting and crazy part of the episode. So Lady Anshu, I think is how they were pronouncing it. It's spelled Anshi, but I think they were pronouncing it Anshu or something. So I'm gonna try to pronounce it like that. Anshu is a cool woman. I find her very interesting. The Empress Dowager. She seems to think she put a curse on the emperor, and her reasoning for that is that she would pray every day for him to die or whatever, and then he died, and then a year later they checked on his body and he hadn't decomposed at all. So I suppose it's just the idea of like, I wished for him to die a bunch, and then he died, and I thought for a while like, oh well, he was gonna die at some point, so it wasn't me that did it. But then there was something like just that wasn't possible in this world, like that happened to his body. So it's like that there was something supernatural at play here. So if there was something supernatural, it makes sense that like he died from the supernatural, therefore he must have died from the curse that I put on him. That's I guess her thinking behind the situation. Now for Maomao's thinking, I imagine she would have to start, you know, like the what's the old Sherlock Holmes thing, like eliminate the impossible, and then whatever's left, no matter how improbable, must be the truth, or something along those lines, right? So Maomao has, and this is what you have to do with puzzles in general, right? You have to just go, okay, literally what has to be true, or what has to be false, you know? Something really, you know, this can relate to Blueprints, the game Blueprints. Blueprints, not blueprints, the, like, you know, mapping stuff, but actually blueprints, as in the son of a king, right? But it is a pun, it's supposed to be wordplay. But that game recently came out. It's a puzzle game. The concept of the game is essentially this old rich guy died, and you play as his son. He basically, I think you're his son. He basically said, look, I'm trying to remember if it's his son or if it's like his nephew or something, but I can't quite remember. It doesn't matter. Let's say son for now. And he basically left in his will saying like, look, I'm prepared to leave my title and everything to Simon, the character you're playing as, but only after he finds the 46th room in my 45-room mansion. And so you're playing as this character, and you have to go through the mansion, discovering all the secrets of the mansion, trying to figure out how to get to the 46th room, right? And it's a game that came out recently. It's like a roguelike puzzle game. I love roguelikes. I love puzzle games. It was the perfect mesh between those two things. And there's a lot of fun mysteries to solve in there, right? Why am I bringing this up? Well, I've been playing it, and I feel like that game, there are several things in that game that really is like, sometimes you have to go like, okay, well, what can't be the case? You know, this can't be what it is. So if this can't be what it is and this can't be what it is, I have to figure it out just down to this. Like, for example, there's a game in there, there's a parlor game in there where there's 3 boxes, and every time you go in there, there's a statement on each of the boxes, and and on the boxes, there's going to be either 2 truths and a lie or 2 lies and a truth. There'll never be 3 truths, there'll never be 3 lies. There's always 2 of one and 1 of the other. And so you have to go in, read the statements on all the boxes, and figure out which box you're supposed to open. And it starts off very easy, and then it gets harder and harder and harder as you do it more and more. And that is a perfect example of, like, sometimes you're looking at the boxes and you're like, okay, I don't even know how to start this. And then you just go like, okay, well, what's impossible? Like, if this one was true, then is this possible to happen? Because then you go like, oh, if this one is true, then this one would have to be true as well. And this one would also have to be true. So that means if all 3 of them are true, this can't be the answer, which means that first box can't be true, which means it has to be false. So if that's false, then these both can't be false. So then one of these 2 is true. And you have to figure it out like that, you know? And it's really, really interesting. But it's a good way to go through these mysteries. So if that interests you, if you're interested in that, 1, go play Blueprints, but also 2, you can go to my Jent Watches More channel in the description below, and I posted my entire playthrough of that game on there, or my playthrough until you hit the credits of the game. So it's not, I didn't solve every puzzle in the game, but I found the 46th room essentially. And it was a really, really fucking fun game. It's one of the most fun games I've played in a long time. But anyway, so Maomao, I think, has to do that in this situation. She's got to, like, figure out, all right, well, what's impossible? And what's impossible is what's impossible, 1, is probably that there's a curse. You know, you kind of have to, like, rule that out. There's no curse. So if there's no curse, what then could be possible, you know? And then you have to, I guess, go through, like, okay, well, he didn't decompose. So how could it have been possible that he didn't decompose? Let's assume that that's true and he didn't decompose. It can't just have, like, happened to happen, right? Like, there has to be a reason behind it. Normally, it happens when you, like, freeze the body, or there was something else. Like, what did they say specifically about it? They said, like, let's see. Unless it's placed in ice and frozen. Yeah, so this place is cold even in summer, but every corpse rots and gets infected with insects. Unless it's placed in ice and frozen. So, like, the only way that she can think of that you can have a corpse not decompose is to freeze it. So then I think you have to work backwards from that. Like, okay, like, if that's the case, if that's the only way it could happen, then the body must have been frozen. So how could the body have been frozen? You know, and I think you have to kind of figure that out. So did someone take the body out as soon as he died, froze it, and then bring it back before they inspected it 1 year later? Or something along those lines, you know? There's got to be a way to figure it out from there. I'm not educated enough to do that, but Maomao could. But I think that's how you have to reach it, is, like, take all of those assumptions and start from that place. Man, this episode also covered slavery as well. And, like, basically said, like, look, the Empress Dowager abolished slavery, kind of, you know, technically. But it's not the sort of thing that can, like, just goes away cold turkey, you know? So instead, it kind of transferred and took on different names, and so there's things that people would consider to be servitude, but aren't technically under that. And the sad thing is, it's a step in the right direction, you know? Like, it's still around, and it's horrible that it's still around, but at least they've taken steps to you know, get rid of it, to at least make it seem more taboo. And then eventually, hopefully, you can get rid of all forms of it. But I love that the show touched on that as well, because it's so interesting. Like, going, okay, well, we've gotten rid of this, but it's still around here and here and here. The writer of this series is so smart. Like, I would feel so intimidated being in a conversation with her, because I would feel like anything I'd be saying, she could be sitting there politely disagreeing with me in her head, you know? Like, she would be like, he clearly has no idea what he's talking about, but I'll just let him talk. Like, that's the kind of person, I don't know anything about her, but that's the kind of person I imagine she is. Because, like, it's like, she seems like she has such a, I mean, it's very much like Maomao in this episode. She was, like, downplaying her own intelligence a lot. And saying, like, someone came up to her and went, oh, or the Empress Dowager went up to her and said, like, everyone knows you as the girl who solves problems. And she's like, well, yeah, I've got a limited set of knowledge and I just happen to say facts and help people reach conclusions or whatever. She's really downplaying it when she's actually got a wide array of knowledge. It's still within a certain field mostly, but it's a pretty wide field that she's got knowledge in. And she's got a deep knowledge in that field. But she, like, downplays it a lot. So I wonder how much the writer has a deep knowledge in those fields. Like, it's possible she has, you know, this is her knowledge set, is this series. But it's also possible she doesn't have that wider range of knowledge, but she's really good at researching this stuff when she needs to put it in a story. Whatever it is, she's really fucking good at it, because this series is amazing. It's so good. Yeah, anyway, that was a great episode. Both those episodes were really great. I love this show. That's Apothecary Diaries Season 2, Episodes 7 and 8. Thanks for joining me. Make sure to support the video if you can, liking, commenting, and subscribing. And go to my Patreon account for full-length early access and exclusive videos. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.